Sponsored by True Tech Tools. Quality tools, essential support. TrueTechTools.com. I've got my sensors and the relay for that air handler at the Raleigh Oaks Resort. I'm headed back over there to see if I can get that system back up and running, and we'll take you along for the ride when we get over there. So stay tuned. When I was here the other day, I had thought about swapping the 230 volt input on the transformer to the 208 because we obviously don't have 230. We've got 216, which is on the high end of 208 but on the low end of 230. So I'm going to go ahead and move this tap from the 230 over to the 208 and isolate that. Or change that. Maybe that'll keep our voltage a little bit more normal. And then I'm in the process of replacing that fan relay, and we'll fire it back up. So I figured I would compare the old relay to the new relay, and the old relay reads 16.9 ohms on the 24 volt coil. The new relay reads 16.9 ohms. So I doubt that it's actually the relay's fault. The only reason I would replace it at this point is the fact that this one has been chattering and the points are definitely scorched a little, and I was actually kind of surprised to see that the factory relay and the one from the factory parts house are not exactly the same. Obviously they work the same, but I kind of expected to get the same relay for the new one being the black one, the old one being the brown one. The sensors that are on the gas line and the liquid line are obviously applied very nicely with aluminum tape. So I'm going to cut that off, replace those sensors, and insulate them without aluminum tape. I may just be being picky, but it looks like that clamp has had some external heat applied to it, which is probably when they brazed in the refrigerant piping, which could definitely damage this sensor. The discoloration of that metal being what I'm talking about. I guess we'll see. Got the sensors in, got a piece of Armaflex on it with a little bit of tape to hold the Armaflex. These sections are really hard to get into with my fat hands into that tight space, but I think that'll take care of the insulation of the sensor and avoid any issues. Now the one sensor is reading 1.5 volts DC, and the other sensor is reading 1.6. When I first tested them before I started the video, they were both reading 1.3. So sensors having both been in the same environment, reading very close to the same temperature, I'm convinced that those are not faulty. You know what would be really nice? A meter that would do a graph of your readings over time. Then this test would not take so much attention from me because I could set it up on that relay and watch the graph after letting it run for a while and be able to see when voltage changed, if it changed at all. Now we got the Testo kit connected to the refrigerant pressures at this point, just because I hadn't used them yet. Wanted to put them on and see how it goes. I'm going to switch over to the iManifold kit so that I can get my air temperatures from the other end of the building that's well over 50 feet obstructed. System's been running for a little while. Superheat is obviously high. Subcooling is a little low for typical heating on a trained system. My temperature split from the iManifold probes, 67 and 81. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my iManifold pressure probes and see how the system looks overall. The refrigerant charge obviously doesn't look so hot, but I'm still playing with that. But while I was waiting on some of that to balance out, I figured I would come in and double check airflow. And so I've got between 0.6 and 0.7 static. And if I come over here to the blower performance on this particular air handler, if it was running on 230 volts, 0.7 would be 1071, 0.6 would be 1117. That wouldn't be so bad, but a little less than I prefer to get. I mean, 1100 is not bad at all, but we're actually running 208 volts, and at that we are under 1000 CFM, regardless of whether it's 0.6 or 0.7 at medium fan speed. The thing that bothers me is if I jump it up to high speed, my static's going to get worse, and I'm barely going to make any improvement. If I jump up to high speed, I would expect that we'll go to at least a 0.7 to a 0.8, which is still shy of nominal 1200, but maybe it's worth the trouble. So I'll go ahead and change this speed tap just to see what the static pressure does, and we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so on the data plate it says that unit tested at 0.3 inches of water external static pressure. And now that we've got the unit up on high speed, we're bouncing around a little bit, but at times we're actually jumping up to almost 7.5 inches of water. If I come over to my blower speed chart, 0.6 says it's 1137, 0.7 says it's 1092, and 0.8 is 1036. There we go, 0.7. I'm going to give it a little bit more refrigerant to see if we can get that subcooling closer to target, and we'll see how it looks after that. So I'm running in heat, and my suction line is 55.5, almost 56 degrees. Common suction on the reversing valve, and my T2 probe on the low pressure gauge is in hot water at 96.5 degrees. My superheat was previously 23 degrees, and when I put the bulb in it, it has very slowly moved from 23 degrees superheat to 21.5. I've got the bulb and the probe in the water, and just wanted to show you guys that it looks like I've got problems with my outdoor TXV. Well, I got the air conditioning about as close as I can get it at the moment. There towards the end running the air conditioning, I actually tripped the low temperature cutoff for the zone board, even though I was running both zones wide open. So I switched it over to heat and showed you that section where the outdoor TXV wasn't responding properly. At this point, we recommended that they take care of that outdoor TXV, and we're waiting on a response. If we get a response, we'll be back to do it. More than likely, I will do the repair and we'll take you along for that ride. But until then, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And don't forget that you can use coupon code RARVID at TrueTechTools.com to get $10 off your purchase of $10 or more. And we'll see you on the next video. Peace.
Blind man, I see you walking through this cold, cold night.